Hey beautiful, hope you're doing well. And yes, I am talking to you. You are beautiful and do not forget that. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Donna at Face Paints For You. And today I'm here with a fast and easy one-stroke snake design. So if you'd like to see how I do this, please keep watching. Okay, so I will be doing this snake on an arm, but of course this snake can be used as a face design, leg design, arm design, anything you want. And if you stick until the end of the video, I will show you how I place this snake on a face for a face design. Okay, so as you can see, I grabbed my 3/4 inch angle brush and I loaded it with a split cake from Fusion Body Art from the Leanne's Butterfly palette. It's called Tink FX. Okay, so first of all, I try to imagine where I want my one-stroke snake to be. And as I want the illusion that it's wrapping around the arm, of course, as it's a fast on-the-job design, I am going to be doing only the top of the arm. So it's not actually going to be going all the way around, as it will take a little bit longer. But of course, if you do have the time, absolutely, because it'll look fantastic. As I said, I wanted this snake to be wrapped around the arm, but I wanted it to be coming down. So I did the head at the bottom on top of the hand. And I start off by doing a square, but only with 3 sides. And as you can see, the square is not completely straight. I do it slightly curved. Of course, it completely depends on who you're doing this one-stroke snake on, because of course, depending on the size of the arm. But I did do it about 1 inch on each side on that first part of the head. Then where I go in slightly and pull another small square at the front for the nose, that one's approximately about 3/4 of an inch in width and about 1/2 inch in length. Then from the back of the head with the same brush and same split cake, I do a straight line, slightly slanted, like as if it's about to go round the back of the arm. And then I flip my brush round and do the same on the opposite side. And you want it to be approximately the same length as the nose, so about 3/4 of an inch. Then as you can see, I try to figure out approximately where it would be when it goes round the arm and where it would come back out from. And with my brush, I pulled a straight line going across from one side to the arm to the opposite side, always remembering to keep it at an angle, the same angle as we did with the head. And just like we did before, flip the brush round and do exactly the same. I also try to keep the width of the body the same all the way around. And when needed, I do reload my brush just so I can keep the colours nice and bright and crisp. Now here, as you can see, I'm trying to figure out where to put the next part of the body. Now, it's up to you how long you want to make the snake, but for the purpose of the video, I have just made it nice, short and sweet. So all I'm doing now is the actual tail. So you would start off the same way as you did the middle of the snake, but this time towards the middle, I slowly go in thinner and turn my brush to finish in a point. And of course, I flip my brush round and do the other side. Now, this is completely optional, but as the paint is still wet, I do spritz glitter all over the design. Okay, so now that we have the base of our one-stroke snake done, I start to outline the design. So I grab my round number 2 brush with Black Diamond Effects, and I don't just outline this design with just thin straight lines. I do slightly wiggle my brush. I do slightly do thinner to thicker or thick to thin lines, you know, just to give it a bit more interest, a bit more depth. And as I've stated before, it does make the design a bit more realistic and organic. Now, outlining the design is actually optional, so it's completely up to you, depending on how much time you have. But there's a few different options that you could take. So you've either got option 1, that you do it with a split cake like Borneo, like you can see now on the screen, that has black on the end, so it outlines it for you. You can either do it with the same split cake that I've just used now, and it'll still look fine if you don't outline it. Or number 3 is do exactly as I'm doing now and just outline the design after you've done your one stroke. So of course, what I would normally do is on the day when I'm about to do the design, that's when I'll decide which is the best option to take. Okay, so now that we've finished outlining the design, I'm just doing 2 tiny teardrops for the nostrils right at the front of the nose. Then I go on to do 2 big eyes, and I do it right where the head is about to go in, slightly thinner for the nose. And as you can see, I just do 2 big half circles and then 2 small circles inside and fill them in. Now, I do also add some extra details to the head, but of course it's completely optional, but I just do think it makes it look a lot nicer. Okay, so now to give it that reptile, that snake skin effect, I'm going to grab a finger dauber, mist it with some water, and I swipe it back and forwards on this split cake called Borneo. It's from a Global Fun Stroke palette called Rainbow Burst, and the last 2 colours are dark green and black, and it just to give it that 2-tone effect. I do also twist it slightly as I'm doing this, and you know what, guys? You don't have to use the same colours that I do. Do you know, a lot of times I switch my designs up. Like I've used a neon orange on the top of this snake as well, and it looks really, really good. So definitely try out different colours, try out different positions. Do you know, that's how we learn, by trying new things. Have fun with your designs. And by the way, for anyone that doesn't have a stencil that's similar to this, don't worry about it. Have a look through your stencils if there's anything that maybe you could use. If not, grab a round brush and do some different size patches or dots. Then I grab my round brush number 4 with my white diamond effects, and I load it really well, and I start to put a large and a small dot inside the eyes as a highlight. Then I start to take off most of the paint off my brush, and you can either do that on top of your dry paint, or like maybe on your arm or your hand, or maybe even a towel. And that's because now I'm going to start doing some highlights across the snake's body. And I take most of the paint off because I don't want them to be bright white lines, you know, I want them to be highlights. And as you can see, I even tap it sometimes, just so it's not too bright. And by tapping it with your finger, it like blends it in with the colour underneath. By doing it this way, I really do think it makes it look more like an actual highlight. And of course, for the purpose of the video, I am doing quite a few highlights, and you know, I am spending quite a bit of time on it. But again, if you're in a rush, you don't have to be doing this, you know, just place a few here and there and you'll be absolutely fine. You know, customers not going to come up to you and say to you, by the way, a highlight wouldn't go there. Do you get what I'm saying? So don't worry about that. Okay, and now I grab my round brush number 3 and I loaded it with some red. Now, any red would be absolutely fine, or you could always do it in black if you wanted to. But I do the tongue of the snake. And as you can see, I start from the middle of the nose and I start to pull out a thin, curly or wiggly line. And as I'm getting towards the end, I push my brush down, come a bit thicker, and then pull it back thin again. And from where I pushed my brush down, I pull another line coming out from the side, again by pushing my brush down thick and then coming out thin again. Sorry, I hope that makes sense, but it is a little bit hard to explain, you know, the shape of the tongue. So just watch it carefully if you don't know how to do it. As you can see, I do add a bit of a highlight on the tongue as well. Now, normally I would do the tongue first and then all the highlights together at the end, but unfortunately I completely forgot, so I am sorry about this. Then here I do mist down a petal sponge, but any sponge will be absolutely fine. And I load it with this split cake from this Sally and Lynch palette, and it has a bit of red, orange, gold and white, but of course any colour that you want would be absolutely fine. And with this wall stencil, I start to do this wall effect in between the snake, like as if it's coming down a wall, for example. But of course you can use any stencil, you can use anything you want, you know, to fill in those spaces. You can even leave the snake exactly as it is, as it still looks really nice. So again, it all comes down to depending on how much time you have. By the way, guys, there's a few different snakes out there that you could change this snake into, just like, for example, a rattlesnake. And I would absolutely love to see your design, so please tag me in them and send them over to me. And you know what? I'll start picking a few of the designs and start putting them in my videos. So maybe next time you watch one of my videos, you may see your design up there. Anyway, really quickly back to the video. As you can see, I just start to do a few starbursts and a few dots, and that's it really. This is my arm snake design, and as promised at the beginning, I will now show you how to put this snake design onto a face, so then you will also know how to do a snake face painting design. Okay guys, so I'm going to zoom through all this very quickly. So as you can see, it is all exactly the same, all the brush strokes, except the one on the forehead, so the middle part that we had on the arm. This one's just a little bit more curved as it comes down from her hairline and onto her forehead, then it goes round and then back up into her hairline. Everything else is exactly the same. Again, just like we did on the arm with the wall stencil, filled in any spaces, and again, just did everything that I did on the arm. So it's that simple. If you can do it on the arm, you should be able to do it on the face. The only thing I did add on this design, as you can see from the photos, is the lipstick with the snake skin effect on top. And as you can see, I also added a few extra leaves / flowers with some chunky gold glitter. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And just a reminder, don't forget to send me your designs across if you want to be featured in my next video. And of course, if you need help with anything or you would like me to do a certain design, please let me know in the comments below.